Hello, everyone. So my name is Victor, and the whole idea of this is not really on how we can drive in more business or how we can increase revenue directly for restaurants. Everybody is trying to figure out on that part. The whole idea of this thing is basically also to help how not to lose business, right? How to be able to gain more people, how to ensure that you have everything you need to make sure people are not driven away or have a bad experience. Times is tough as it is, so growing new customers is definitely is important, but also retaining existing profile. So we broke it down into three main sectors for most restaurant owners that I've spoken to, even here in Chicago, and realized that some of them fall short on the basics, like a basics 101 of running a restaurant. Besides the operations and all, these are some of the soft skills that restaurants should be focusing on. We broke it down into the social media, the reservation, and the delivery. And we basically try to convince. So one of the things we encounter when talking to restaurant owners are like, all right, why do I need to do this? People already know where I am. If I open my doors, people will come. That is the case for most existing customers, loyal customers. But when you're trying to reach a mass, especially in this market where there's so many restaurants, you definitely want to attract attention. You want to let people know that, hey, I'm here, come to me. And also like, these are my information. You can put yourself out there. And most of this does not involve a cost or fees, especially on the social media side. But then for reservation and delivery, I wouldn't say they're necessary evils, but they're just basic cost of doing business. That's how I would put it. All right. We can start off with the social media. That's where we'll go on with. If we can go to the next slide. So on the social media side, as we know, you can't avoid social media these days, right? It's critical. Whether you are a influencer or whatnot, it really doesn't matter. Social media is where people go first thing before they go to a restaurant or check out any businesses. The most traditional is, of course, the Google, the Yelp, but nowadays it's also the Facebook, the Instagram, and a lot of people have different perception. Like, hey, I have no posting, I have no pictures, I have no media, no videos to put up there. Those are secondary to your whole social media presence. The first thing is definitely your information. One, do you have the right information? Is your address up to date? Is your hours of operations up to date and your closure? Throughout COVID, we have spoken to different people, even my own restaurant. We have changed business hours. We have changed our days. I've had customers that came out on, for example, 4th of July and realized that, hey, they didn't realize that we were closed, although it's all over our social media, right? So, but the main thing is we want to capture, let most of the people know, even when they're trying to order, that, hey, these are our new hours of operation. For example, if you're doing lunch now, which you have never done before, it's good to know, because otherwise, how are people going to find out that you're open for lunch? Nobody is calling a restaurant through phone. Most people don't use their phone for calling anymore. It's just to browse, right? That's the reality of things. And also, if anybody wants to reach out to the restaurant, to have some sort of like collaboration or catering and whatnot, that information is very critical. And besides that, there are unfortunately people out there who would hijack information, who will alter information, because all these are more collaborative, whereby they will post or review different dates, different times, just because you might have an unpleasant customer, or there are people trying to take advantage. So personally, we have experienced whereby people actually hijacked our Google listing. And what they did was they claimed the Google business as their own. And if you don't reply to anything, you take no action. After about 2 to 3 weeks, Google automatically say, all right, nobody is challenging this. Whoever they claimed it is yours now, and they can do anything. So what they did was they redirected all our ordering over to their website, and they sent us an order separately. So they are taking commissions in between, so they can adjust the pricing, the menu items, and whatnot. Or sometimes you just have people who link it to a outdated menu and pricing. That's unfortunate, because if people come in and say, hey, your website says this price, but it's not our official website, then you go into it, well, that's not our official, this is our official. But by then the customer is really affected. Like, all right, you know what? It doesn't sound like you've got your things under control. We will probably go somewhere else. It's just not worth the hassle. So that's what we're trying to avoid. The cost of setting up for most of this is free. All you need to do is register an email account, and that is free as well. You can use Google, you can use Yahoo, it doesn't matter, long as you have one. Some of the main options we put out there are like, we listed like top 6, right? First thing, always have your Google listing up to date, right? That includes your hours. I mean, the first thing people go to these days is Google. They look up a restaurant, if they hear about it from a friend, they want to find out more about it, they go to Google, they'll be able to see your reviews, your business hours, your location. The second one is, of course, Yelp. So Yelp is important as well because Yelp extends beyond just your business information. So for example, whether you're parking, is it wheelchair friendly, Asian owned, women owned, or any city, right? They have all these variables in there that help you to promote, because there are sometimes customers who are looking, you know what, is AAPI month, I just want to support AAPI restaurants this month. Now, if you update that, you show up in their listing. That creates more awareness for you as well. And then the other thing is also on Facebook, you're able to create your business page. People might be posting questions, prospective customers by asking, hey, I have a question about your menu. I have peanut allergy, I have gluten allergy. Do you have this? Because your online menu might not cover everything, but it's always nice to have someone who can interact directly with the customer, giving feedback. Hey, I'm trying to do a catering. Do you guys do this? I'm looking for parking. Are you children friendly? What are your hours? Can I do this and that? Instagram as well is the same thing. You have people asking about questions because believe it or not, you have customers coming in that are tagging you in their stories, they're posting and all. You want to be able to thank them, right? You might not be able to attract a negative customer back, but definitely you want to encourage people who have positive experience, interact with them. They feel like, oh, I just posted about you. It was unintentional, but now, hey, my friends see it and you are interacting with me. You're not just a restaurant, you're a business. You actually connect with me, you're a person. And then I can ask you questions as well, or I'm just curious, right? Twitter is another piece whereby you can talk about your promotions, what's going on, efforts that you guys are doing, or even just say, hey, I'm running a special, this is what I'm doing. TripAdvisors appeal more to travelers who are out of our state or our country traveling in. Speaking from a Malaysian restaurant, there's not many Malaysian restaurants in the US, especially in Chicago. There's only 2 right now. So people coming in will say, hey, I'm looking for a Malaysian restaurant in Chicago, for example, or even I'm looking for a Sichuan restaurant in Oakland. TripAdvisor will help those travelers figure out, hey, what's going on there? What is available? What are people's review on this? And all of this linked to each other. So in Google, you can put your Facebook link, your Yelp link, vice versa. So when you interconnect all of them, people can find, it's like doing research, right? You're digging more and more, like, hey, what are people's feedback about the restaurant, about their feedback, about their hours and things like that as well. Any questions about this on social media at all? All good? All right.
Let's keep the let's finish the slides, and we're looking for folks to enter their question through chat.
All right.
And we'll have a 10-minute Q&A.
Not a problem. So the next thing that we're going to talk about is reservation. So now think about the process, right? Your customer is aware of where you are, all right? They're very interested in your food. They want to come and check you out. In the past, we would pick up the phone, call a restaurant and say, hey, are you open? What's your availability, right? But more and more people are so busy, they're already on their computers, on their phones. They'd rather be able to like just tap on their phone like, hey, all right, I want to book a reservation. I'm going to go on the phone. I'm going to go on the app. There are some people that will still email, but most people prefer an app. And we have listed some of the popular services out there like OpenTable, Yelp, and Talk. So reservation doesn't just bring people in, right? It's also to make people aware, like, when are you busy, right? If you're super busy, when are you not as busy? Because you've seen in places whereby everybody come in during the dinner rush, and then now they gotta wait an hour or two, and they're like, if only I could check the reservation, I could spread it out. And for most restaurants, you like the rush period, but you also want to spread people out. If I can get people who usually come in during the dinner shift to come in between the quiet times of 3 to 4, trust me, the kitchen chef will be super happy. Now they're not rushing, the staff is not stressing. They can spread it out, and to you, it's more sustainable, right? You don't have to do rush, you spread everybody out. It's also easier. And also, while you're doing reservation, you do not want to run into the cases whereby, oh, I'm too busy serving someone right now. Someone called in to make a reservation, I forgot to write it down. And then someone come in and say, hey, where's my table? I called in, you forgot to write it down. again, it becomes an unpleasant customer experience. Now with a reservation app, in this case, everything is managed. They have it there. You can keep track. You can do better planning. Who is coming in when? You can even reach back out to the customer and say, hey, I might be busy at 7. Will you consider coming at 8? Will you consider coming at 6? So you spread people out. It makes it much easier. Now, of course, you have to pay for this sort of services and technology. But we have seen the payoff is there. You do get a larger customer base. You can get reviews from customers as well. Like, hey, what do you think about this? So think about interconnectivity. It connects back to your social media as well and helps you to manage all this at a very reasonable price. And again, I would call it as a cost of doing business. Unless everybody already has a long list of people waiting to go into their restaurant, like most of the 5-star restaurants, most of us will actually rely on this to help manage those customers as well. And then the third thing basically we are going to is on delivery. So a lot of people might not still be comfortable going out, or as we mentioned, you're too busy sitting people down, so you do deliveries. So deliveries is not, it works in 2 ways. I've spoken to people as well, like, hey, if a customer wants to eat our food, they should just call in and then they don't have to pay the commission, which is true in many cases. But you have to remember, a lot of times people are looking for what to eat. Think about ourselves, right? If we want to think about what to eat today, we go on Yelp. We'll see what is out there. So nowadays, with all the delivery options, people just go on there, right? What do I feel like eating today? If you don't have that, you'll lose a portion of the customer base, like people who are just trying to figure out what's new in the market. Hey, today I have a craving for something, but I did not know that your restaurant exists because my friends have never been there. I just moved to a new city. So now with delivery apps, it allows you to do this, especially with travelers, right? I miss the food from home. I'm just going to look for what's out there. So delivery apps helps you to do that. It also provides you the ability to run specials. Say I have a lunch special today, right? How am I going to get it out to my customers? How would people know? I can put posters outside my restaurant door, but not everybody's going to walk past every day, right? How many people walk past the restaurants and actually walk in or pay attention? Nowadays, people's head are down on their phone. They don't even know they might not even see a car if it's passing in front of them, right? So having this is super helpful. They go on the app. They can see, all right, what's happening out there? What am I eating? What do I feel like eating today? And also with the delivery apps, you have your hours, your pricing, and your delivery range. Because someone might want your food, but if your hours are not updated, then they might order something and realize, oh, they don't deliver today. It's only available for delivery tomorrow. And also duration, right? You can keep in touch. Like, oh, normally if I order between 2 or 3, my food will be here about 45 minutes. But if I order on Christmas Eve at 7 p.m., guess what? Your food is going to take 2 hours. But you are able to cater that or update all those information in your delivery apps. Rather than you're already busy, now you're going to take delivery on the phone when your staff is fully busy. This is what's likely to happen. Someone calls in and say, I want to place a delivery. Can I put you on hold? And that hold can be 15 to 20 minutes. And you know what? I'm just going to go somewhere else, right? I know you're busy. Even you take my order, it's going to take forever for my food to come. You know what? I'm just going to go somewhere else. With this, it's more manageable. The customers determine upfront, like, all right, you're busy. I'm not going to come in. If you're busy, maybe I might come in tomorrow. Now I'm enticed. Now I'm curious. Are you that good that you're so busy all the time? All right, I'm going to come back tomorrow and try your food as well. Now I had that curiosity. All right, I couldn't get a reservation. I can't get a delivery today. You know what? I'm going to come tomorrow. I'm going to keep trying until one of these days I can get in somewhere and try your food. And if it's good enough, then I'll come in and dine in. So we listed some of the more popular options around here as well that allows you to do this, to be able to do this delivery. So those are the 3 main areas we have seen that generates the most attention, the most impact from customers based on what we have seen. Is the social media, the reservation, the delivery. The whole idea is to create a buzz. If people are curious enough, excited enough, and they keep coming into your restaurant to get food, then you generate that, because then you create them into a backlog, right? Now you have people lining up ready to come and try your restaurant. And also you can provide feedback loop to your customer. If someone complains, hey, I had a terrible experience there, right? And then now you can be the judge of it. You can take a look and see, was it a busy night? Was it just an off night? Or maybe something was off. Then you respond to the customer. Now, not everybody is right. Some people might think customer is always right. That's not necessarily the case. But in this case, you are hearing, you have feelers out there. You know exactly what's going on, what's impacting. And then you can have a feedback loop to discuss with them. Say, hey, thanks for coming in. Sorry you had that. We had an off night. Please come back again. We're sorry about this. Or you say, hey, there's nothing much I can do because this is how things are, like raising or pricing. If you're unhappy with it, like, times are tough. This is what we are doing. Or why during COVID we require people to wear masks, right? This is some of the things that we do. Or telling people, even with everything open, we are still very cautious. We are limiting capacity. We are doing this. So all that helps people know that you're not just another business. You are also interacting with people. Your social awareness. What are you passionate about in the society as well? Hope that is helpful.
Oh, thank you very much, Victor. Let me ask you a question. How many of these the website that you have listed is your two restaurant using?
My restaurant use all of them, if not more. Okay. Right. And I highly encourage people to do that. Yes, it is a task to manage it, but once you get the hang of it, the payoff is there.
Victor, I have a quick question for you. I know we don't endorse, I know this is a webinar, but I do have a question on the reservation app that you were talking about. I know the popular one is the Open Table. What other online apps are there available for restaurateurs?
So there is Yelp has a reservation part of as well. Okay. So Yelp works on a fixed fee, on a fixed monthly fee. There's also Talk that does that as well. These are the three more popular ones that people usually go to.
Okay, cool. Thank you.
Since Echo is on the line, I just want to recognize Chinese Mutual Aid is as a volunteer to this program. They operate what we call Illinois Small Business Development Center for the state of Illinois in Chicago, and they are what's known as the SBA's SBDC. They volunteer to help both in terms of if restaurant owner that might have required services, SBDC, which is across the whole country, that need help, and they're willing to refer the clients to them directly or to SBDC across the country. That's another example of how you could volunteer to help with this program. I have a question, Victor. What did you experience as you first initiate this different aspect of the free aspect, social media, delivery and reservation? How did you do it by trial and error? Did you have a system that you want to use? Given an IT director, you know this well. How would somebody who is new begin the process to get on all these websites?
So a lot of it was trial and error in the beginning. So for example, on Yelp, if you do it through the website versus doing it on a mobile device, and depending on mobile device, their options are different. So a lot of it is trial and error, and also getting feedback and learning from other restaurant owners. So the way I'm able to share this is because I've worked with other restaurant owners. I've seen what they do. I reference like the bigger chain restaurants and see, all right, what are they doing? What am I not doing, right? So from there, you learn a lot as well. And also just being active in it, you hear a lot of tips. You'll be surprised a number of interactions I've been getting from customers and also other restaurant owners that have actually been to my restaurant, gave feedback and say, hey, you should consider doing this. You should collaborate with this other person. And we have made so many friends throughout just social media. And most of that, I never met them in person. So the payoff is definitely there. The rewards are there.
George, I'm Lisa's son. I want to first thank all of you for actually sponsoring this program today. I joined not as an owner, but as a consumer customer. I live in Montgomery County here in Maryland. I belong to a community of extraordinary seniors. Over the past year and a half, a group of us have saw fit to actually do something innovative. We want to support the local restaurants. And what we found was that in ordering as a group, we often came to a great impediment. Many of the restaurants were not capable of really fulfilling the orders that were flowing in, even though they were limited. We want to help. We have a community of 8,000 people, and we have a Chinese club. We're dedicated to helping the local restaurants in any which way we can. So today is really just magical for me to listen to all of you, to see that on the restaurant side, there will be more infrastructure and capability building. But on the consumer and client side, we want to see how we can match what we desire and hope to support and hope to actually promote. We have a
Yeah,
local
this
county,
is
that wants to help restaurants. So
this
how
is
can we
fantastic,
help?
Lisa. What I encourage you to do is to, and I think I have your registration email, to participate as a volunteer. And it's magic because my name is Magic Moy. And I am very creative, if I may say, to help folks come up with ideas so you could do more work, not to I do work. One of the quick idea for you as a group is identify mechanism. Too much a good thing is not good for a restaurant because you get 100 order that I'm used to get 5. That's not a good thing. It's a more of a more advanced planning in terms of what you as a group is going to do and how identify restaurant. You can't do all the restaurant. Maybe take out with 10 restaurants they identify as a group that you want to help. And we could start by doing what we're doing now, make sure their social media is set up correctly. And then you, the volunteers, could actually help them, or we could have somebody like a Victor. I don't want to put the burden on Victor to come in and work with you to understand what does it take to get these ones set up so you could go and order 100 meals as a group. And that's a fantastic idea of having a club of seniors to help other restaurants. So please be sure to volunteer so we can continue this dialogue.
Thank you. Yes,
Thank you very much.
I will recruit volunteers for you as well.
Oh, that would be wonderful. And I posted the is AAPIrestaurant.org. Jenny has set up to take in more volunteers.
Thank you.
Any other questions? Jenny, raise your hand.
Oh no, that was a clap for Lisa. I believe Maz has a question about Uber Eats or Mars. You want to unmute yourself?
Mas, you have a question? Did you say? What was that?
I have 2 restaurants, and I know some of my fellow restaurants are having a hard time with learning how to sign up with Uber Eats or Grubhub, DoorDash, etc. Have we explored how to help other restaurants either both sign up or navigate if it's the right decision for their business model to have a delivery service company work with them?
Okay, leave your question. If I can hear it correctly, some of the restaurants having challenges signing up for the distant delivery process. Is that correct, Mas? So what we could do is, Mas, just to let you know, is for you to also sign up as a volunteer / nominate yourself so that we could have the continued dialogue on a weekly basis on perhaps we could find someone like a Victor who is familiar with these delivery platform and help you with understand the challenges facing you, and then you can in turn help other restaurant owners. That makes sense? I don't know if you can hear me.
Yeah, definitely. I think there's a lot of restaurants that, like us, that know how to do it, but we also know a lot of other restaurants around us that don't know how to sign up.
That's fantastic. I know restaurants, some restaurants who make more money last year because of the pandemic, because they go exclusive carry out and that lower the infrastructure costs and actually make more money. I would love those restaurants owner to, and they're too busy making money, to spend some time sharing that with the Western community. But that's, again, is a challenge of bringing people together, is how we could support each other in a way where we share our success, not just our failure. Okay, looks like we have 3 more minutes. I'm gonna wrap up by thanking everyone for joining us, and especially Victor. Victor is not off the hook. Victor actually silly enough to volunteer as one of my volunteers to answer tough questions as we proceed down the path of helping restaurant owners as we identify. And I also want to Jessica. Thank you, Jessica, for actually being part of the new model of collaboration between chambers. And we want to make sure you're successful in helping your restaurant owner. And I also want to thank AARP for contribute to this program. Thank you so much, everyone. And I look forward to seeing you on July 29th. And actually, you could register now on the ACE website, the same way you did for this one. Thank you.